What is up everyone? Today I'm going to be showing you the top 10 best mythic units for beginners. So this will only apply for people who mainly play solo, and this list will not be in any particular order. All the units I'm going to be mentioning in this list are what I use on my new to pro series where I play solo and become the very best. Yes. With that being said, let's get started with the video and make sure to leave a like and subscribe for luck in enemy adventures. Yahoo! Yeah! The first unit I'm gonna be mentioning that you must get is Yono Spirit. You'll definitely be needing Yono Spirit as you progress into the game. Especially Yono is a king, defeating shield opponents which you'll encounter as you progress into the game. Yono's Spirit stats at max level and max upgrade is 62,817.74 with his ability cooldown at 10 seconds, making his damage per second sitting at 6,281.77, which is one of the best damage per second heal type unit for magic, and Yono costs 60,200 yen to max upgrade him, which is not too expensive, especially his DPS is crazy. Yono have two damage types, the first one being magic and the secondary is air. Moving on to the next unit that is a must get is King Meruam. He is definitely a must get, especially you'll be needing a good physical hybrid unit to use for Black Clover Legend stages 1 and 3, and he will also become useful for Kura Kura Legend stages. King Meruam is still one of the best hybrid unit in the game, and King Meruam is one of the most easiest units to get, and King Meruam's stats at max level and max upgrade is 21,537 damage with his ability cooldown sitting at 5 seconds, making his damage per second at 4,307.5. King Meruam is quite decent and you'll end up replacing him later in the game, but he is still quite useful and he costs 52,050 yen to fully upgrade, and King Meruam's damage type is physical. The next unit that is a must get is Mochi Charlotte. You certainly need Mochi Charlotte in your team as his slow is quite insane, which will be useful against fast enemies and supports the rest of your units in your loadout. Katakuri will help you in your legend stages, especially his stats on max level and max upgrade is 27,612.2 damage plus 2,761.22 burn damage over 5 ticks. With his ability cooldown at 6.5 seconds, making his damage per second at 4,248.03. Mochi Charlotte costs 67,750 yen to fully upgrade, and I don't recommend upgrading your category since you'll mainly use him as a support with his slows. Mochi Charlotte's damage type is physical and fire. Moving on to the next unit that is a must-have for beginners is Aizen Final. Aizen Final has definitely helped me quite a lot on my noob to pro series, especially he is a good shield breaker unit. At max upgrade, he will turn into a hybrid unit, which means he'll be able to attack both ground and air opponents with his huge full AoE damage. Sheesh! Aizen Final stats on max upgrade and max level is 249,567 damage with his ability cooldown at 15 seconds, making his damage per second at 16,637.8, and Aizen Final costs 134,800 yen to fully upgrade him, and his damage type is magic. The next must get unit is Coyote Primroa. You'll definitely need this as your magic damage unit as a beginner, especially he has a huge range as well as he is a decent shield breaker unit with his multi-hit and spawns a summoner unit at max upgrade. Coyote's Primroa stats on max upgrade and max level is 45,560.12 damage with his ability cooldown at 13 seconds, making his DPS 3,504.62. Coyote's DPS is decent, but he is still quite useful for beginners, and Coyote Primroa costs 98,100 yen to max him out, and his damage type is magic. Moving on to the next unit that is a must get is Julius Wizard King. You'll definitely need Julius Wizard King as your damage dealer or support. Julius' damage is insanely high, especially he got buffed recently, although he is a burst type unit, so do remember Julia Wizard's King stats at max upgrade and max level is 196,256 damage with his ability cooldown at 8 seconds, which making his damage per second at 24,532. Julia Wizard King costs 98,100 yen to fully upgrade, so I definitely recommend upgrading him at mid game or late game. Julia Wizard King has a chrono reversal ability for you to rewind back, which pushing back enemies for 4.5 seconds, although do remember when using chrono reversal, bosses will not be affected and his damage type is magic and light. The next unit that is a must-have is Gojo 6 Eyes. In my opinion, Gojo should be your top priority to have, especially Gojo have an ability called Unlimited Void, where you can manually use it. When activated, both ground and air opponents will be frozen for 8.5 seconds. You'll be needing 6 Rikugan Eyes, which can be dropped from Mahoti, Bogo, and Hanamo bosses at Jujutsu Kaisen Infinite map. The drop rate of the Rikugan Eyes is 10%, and you will be able to have 6 Rikugan Eyes in one day if you play consecutively. Gojo's 6 Eyes stats at upgrade 9 and max level is 48,321.34 with his ability cooldown at 6 seconds, making his damage per second at 8,053.56, which is incredibly overpowered for a support unit. Gojo's damage type is magic. One last thing, you can infinitely upgrade his limitless with Rikugan Eyes and 6 Eyes. Moving on to the next unit that is a must-have is Megumi Chimera Shadow. Megumi is at least one of the best supports out there in update 10.7.5. Megumi recently got buffed where his curse lasts longer on the enemies, which his curse will apply 30% magic nerf where magic units will deal 30% more magic damage to the opponents who got cursed. Megumi's stats on max level and max upgrade is 38,657.07 with his ability cooldown at 8 seconds, making his damage per second at 4,832.13. Megumi costs 61,150 yen to max upgrade. Megumi damage type is a magic and dark. The next unit that is a must get is Sukuna. If you are in need of a physical damage unit, then Sukuna can be one of your pick. Sukuna have an ability called Dismembered where he applies nerfs to the enemies and gives a permanent 20% more physical damage done to the opponents who got affected. Sukuna have a bleeding damage which is insanely good against regen enemies. Sukuna's stats at max level and max upgrade is 59,826.42 damage plus his 14,850.62 bleeding damage over 3 ticks with his ability cooldown at 10 seconds, making his damage per second at 5,982.64. And Sukuna costs 62,500 yen to max upgrade. Sukuna damage type is physical. Finally, the 10th units I'm gonna be mentioning are Metal Knight, Arsenal, Geno Incinerate, and Tatsumaki Tornado. Once you have all the units I have mentioned, Alien Portals is going to be a lot easier to solo, especially if you are a beginner or a solo player. You'll definitely must get Metal Knight Arsenal, especially he has drone, which you will need kills for the drones to be spawned, and the drone's damage is half of Metal Knight's. And Metal Knight's Arsenal stats at max upgrade and max level is 129,181 damage with his ability cooldown at 6.1 seconds, making his damage per second at 21,291.96. Do remember that Metal Knight Arsenal can only be placed down 2 times. Metal Knight is also a multi-hit, which will be very good against shield opponents. And Metal Knight Arsenal costs 118,250 yen to fully upgrade him. And Metal Knight's Arsenal's damage type is magic. And Geno Incinerate is a must-have unit, especially if you are in need of a burning damage and a multi-hit ground unit, then having Geno Incinerate is a must-have. Geno's stats at max upgrade and max level is 73,358.24 damage plus his 22,007 burning damage over 5 ticks with his ability cooldown at 7.5 seconds, making his DPS at 11,376.13. And Geno Incinerate costs 61,800 yen to fully upgrade him. Geno's damage type is physical and fire. Tatsumaki Tornado will be a must get since she is an insane support with her knockbacks, damage, and she can hit both ground and air opponents at max upgrade. Tatsumaki's stats at max level and max upgrade is 144,668 damage with her ability cooldown at 12.4 seconds, making her damage per second at 11,666.77. And at upgrade 9, Tatsumaki will be able to hit both air and ground opponents. Tatsumaki costs 85,400 yen to fully upgrade her, and her damage type is magic and air. That is all pretty much it for today's video. I hope that this video will be helpful for beginners and everyone else. And I forgot to mention Ulkara Resurrection, which I definitely recommend getting as he is a hybrid unit. And thank you for watching, and make sure you have a good day, good afternoon, and good night. Yeah, bye bye everyone. Bye bye.